what am I looking at here? Well, this is a Sega Saturn, and to the right of it is a Magic Card V2. Now, I'm surprised I'm making a video about this, because pretty much all the vintage rare items for any console have been gone over a million times by everybody. But I was going through some of the things that I have, and I realized that I haven't seen anyone talk about this, at least anytime recently. This is a Magic Card V2, this right here. And what that did was allow you to play backups and imports on your Sega Saturn. Now, just the fact that it's a cartridge for the Sega Saturn, that sentence is rare. Now, it's an optical-based system, of course, but what I find very strange is that things like the laser active and things of that sort, I have one of those, and in the condition that it's in is worth around $700 with the box and the manual. I'm just, at this point, really confused that this item doesn't get the attention that I think it deserves. Because, first of all, it's extremely rare, right off the bat. You don't see many of these around. And secondly, it's useful. It's not just one of these things that it's rare, it's useless, but it's rare. To play backups on this Sega Saturn, if it's not chipped, is simply a pain. Now, it's easy, but it can still damage your motor if you're not paying attention. Because what you have to do is, obviously, as a swap trick is pop the disc out while the motor is active, and replace it with a game disc, and then swap back. Now, if you do it well, you don't strain the drive. But if you, let's say, get hung up on the removal of the disc, you could actually strain the drive. Now, that's all well and good. But what about imports? Well, guess what? This can do it also, the Magic Card V2. So it's rare and useful. Now, that has me wondering why this thing is not valuable to the point where it's on the same realm as at least Super Nintendo cartridges go for, like rare ones. This is extremely rare. There's way less of these as, let's say, the rarest Mega Man X3 game, for instance, which goes for well over $150. And this cartridge can be had for, and to be honest with you, you can usually never find it, but when it does go for sale, you can find it for around like $80. But this thing is rare. Now, how it worked was that you take this cartridge here, you put it in the slot over here, you start it up, and you'll get a splash screen. The splash screen is unique too. Once that happens, you get to the GUI of the Sega Saturn, and it's going to ask you to perform on-screen instructions, or not ask you to perform on-screen instructions, but the on-screen instructions will inform you of what to do. And it's basically pretty much, I guess, the way I want to put this is that you can do the swap trick, but with the motor being stopped by the software. The software will actually stop the drive from spinning and allow you to just put the disc in, do the swap trick, put your import in, without having to strain your motor. Now, that alone makes it worth it to have this. So it's not just some stupid little thing that you have to collect, and it does nothing for you in the long run. This is useful. So my advice is that if you're into collecting games, get one of these. Get one of these right now if you can, because one of these days someone's going to realize that, wait a minute, this is extremely rare. And just finally, before I stop this came in a box, a silver box, which I have, and it also came accompanied with a CD that you can do a swap trick with, but you could use any retail Sega Saturn game. But it's extremely useful. I'll just put it that way. So, that's pretty much it. So, this was the Sega Saturn right here, and this is the Magic Card V2 on the right. And if you can get your hand on this, I would say do it. And more importantly, if you can find one that has the box, and even more rare, And I'm very fortunate that I have the CD that this came with, because you can't find that CD anywhere, to be honest. And once again, no one acts like it exists. Like, you talk to people about this, especially game enthusiasts, even Sega Saturn enthusiasts, they think it's something else, like some memory card. They're like, what's a Magic Card V2? It's so rare that the people who are even into this console collecting, they don't even know who made this. That's what I find so interesting. No one even knows who made this. Like, what company made the Magic Card V2? It's unknown. But it does something that allows you to play imports, allows you to play backups. It has a cool little box, which I have in storage. I'll take it out and make another video if anyone even wants to see it. It has a game disc that's not necessary for the swap. It's just basically a company branded, or the unknown company branded disc that allows you to swap the game with instead of a retail disc. And it has a very mysterious backstory that no one can seem to answer. So, and another thing that no one can seem to answer is the fact that, the Xbox video that I made was the unknown GPU heatsink setup. No one has been able to tell me what that is either. So, there's another mystery. So, check that video out if you want to see, and maybe help me out. Anyway, so this is the Sega Saturn and the Magic Card V2. Try to get your hands on it if you can, if you collect games and game accessories, because I'm going to say it's going to go up in value once someone figures it out and says, you know what, this is kind of rare. And that's pretty much it. Take care.